Hey guys, Ace here. So I managed to find a Firestorm server, and I'm gonna put a little disclaimer before I go into the commentary. In case Battlefield 2042 does not get delayed the second time, for whatever reasons, this will in fact be my last Battlefield 4 video. Now funny I say this because I didn't really prepare for this being my Battlefield 4 final video. If you checked my squad, you can see that I'm a fucking medic, because I played Locker before of this, and then I saw a medic, so now I'm medic on Firestorm, which isn't optimal as you can imagine. But I will get some help from random gunners here and there, just repairing me and helping me out. This map, it's pretty much one of my favorite maps. When I was just a public player and a complete nobody in the game, I mostly just played Firestorm in Battlefield 3 every day for like at least 10 hours a day. The reason why I did that is because I thought it was like the best map vehicle disposition wise. You had 4 tanks, you never had to sit around and wait for a tank. It had air balance was okay, I suppose. I just like the layout of the map. It was very easy to control in Battlefield 3. And while the Battlefield 4 version is, in my opinion, the whole DLC of Battlefield 4, Second Assault is a downgrade from BF3, it's still better than nothing. I would still rather play Operation Firestorm 2014 over, I don't know, some other maps I hate from BF4 like Goldwood Railway. So going into the commentary here, as you can see, I'm trying to prevent people from going Bravo. When I joined the game we were losing, but now my team just kinda captured all the flags already. And the way you play Firestorm in a tank here, or in any vehicle, you could be in an AA, you never want to give control of middle, or in this case B flag. If you're playing on US, you always want to stop them coming from Charlie to Bravo. It's gonna be like your main thing you want to do here. So if this map ever comes back in portal mode in Battlefield 2042, I would play it exactly how you're seeing this on the screen right now. That's how I'm gonna play it, and I think you should do it too. So, I do have the sight bug, which is mildly annoying, but as you see, I'm picking off everybody who's trying to put any pressure on Charlie. But I went into the building, which is something you can also do. A bit more trickier in this game than in Battlefield 3. There's random railings in these buildings in this game. Sometimes you can get stuck, but if you know what you're doing, you can go in here to hide from the helicopters and stuff. I did notice already that they do have a bit more confident air than my team, so I'm just gonna hide in. Now I'm going out of the building, as you can see. Why? Because I see a helicopter, even though it's just a Venom. He's gonna put enough pressure, let's say. I spoke too soon, he immediately got smogged, which is quite unfortunate. So I see that he died, but I see a bunch of infantry. I'm just gonna pick them off before I back away here. And the way you wanna shoot the HG here is basically the same way you would shoot it all the time. Even in the old times, you wanna tap fire it, or, you know, shoot 2-round burst and then do a mini reset. What is a mini reset? It's a reset where you reset like very quickly instead of just waiting like a second for an overhit, so to speak. You shoot twice, you stop shooting, you reshoot immediately. Yeah? So I'm back into the building now because I see we have no air. And while I could technically go out of the building here and just sit out there on the left side of the map, as you see I'm getting locked even inside the building. I think there's the tank there with the guided shell. I'm gonna peek out, and I do in that event that's a tank. I'm gonna send him a little warning shot. Sometimes it's okay to like not engage tanks. In fact, like I would avoid tanks at all costs in this game unless you really need to engage them. They're like very aggressive and pushing with him. But as you can see, he's sitting there with guided shell. Somewhere, God knows where that is, what position that is. He cannot really threaten your infantry with guided shell. Maybe he can like one-shot somebody with his main gun, but like from that position it's unlikely. My team isn't pushing Charlie either, but what the enemy team is doing is pushing Alpha. This is what you should always do if you're losing on Firestorm, by the way. This is what I would have done if I were the Russian team. So, I'm gonna try to clean up Alpha here. And one thing I want to be very careful about here is the spawn point. They spawn everywhere around Alpha. They spawn behind the containers behind me. They spawn on the left side of me. They spawn on the fucking moon here. You gotta be very careful. This isn't Battlefield 3 where they have one set spawn point and you can just spawn rate them, which is right there actually. That was the BF3 spawn point, the right containers. So what you wanna do, especially if you're in the Abrams tank, you wanna circle around, kinda like a fly circling around manure, right? For the lack of a better expression. You wanna circle around because if you stand still, somebody's gonna backshoot you eventually and you're gonna get disabled. If they're behind you, you cannot really shoot with Abrams because your ass is too big. So you want to circle around, give them your side, and give them your front, like I'm doing here. Just keep moving around Alpha flag, never stand still. This isn't... On B flag you can stand still, and you will see this later in the clip, but on this flag, you move around. The rooftop on this flag is also mildly annoying. It's not like a huge issue, but it's fairly annoying. I do have a gunner now, like, I don't know, it's just a random person, but he seems that, you know, that he knows what he's doing. He's using incendiary correctly, which I never see except when I have like a competent gunner who plays tanks enough. So it looks like we cleared up Alpha. I'm just gonna check up if there's any stragglers left, and there's not. So I'm gonna approach a different way to approaching Bravo flag. As you see, they still have Charlie now. I jump out of the vehicle to unspot myself. They still have Charlie, so I'm gonna go back to Bravo to prevent them from coming to Bravo. But this time I'm gonna approach from the right side. There's not really no special reason for this, but the reason why I'm doing it in this clip is because I noticed that they're using the oil refinery on Charlie quite a bit, as you will see later in the clip. And it's easier to cover this position of them crossing from the refinery to Bravo from the right side here than it is from the left side. And also the tank with the guided shell, as we mentioned earlier, is camping on the left side, so it's just easier for me to be here and takes basically zero pressure. But me putting the same pressure on infantry, as you see, I'm just beating this lesser into the infantry here, who is trying to push up now because the tank is here, so I kill like the entire squad there. I'm gonna put the pressure on the tank. I tried to go for a weird back shot, just so I do increase damage. As you see, he took 29 instead of the regular 21, 23. So I'm gonna put pressure on him. We do manage to take out the tank. I'm gonna use the carcass of this T-90, which died earlier, to just block some of the RPGs. This is something like I'm pretty sure all of you do. If you do see a tank carcass in a position which benefits, don't run over it, don't shoot it with your shell, use it as cover. So what I'm doing here, if you look at my minimap right now, I would like to explain the reason why I'm pushing, is you see my entire team is pushing in. There's a MREP, or sorry, a quad bike is already on the flag. There's a billion infantry behind me. We have a spawn beacon above me, so I'm quite confident now. I'm gonna push up, check out what's happening here. As I see a Jeep is shooting my air, I suppose. Just gonna take him out real fast. Gonna kill the Jeep, just so they wouldn't put C4 on the drive into me, as they will later in this video. Spoiler alert, by the way. So I go back because, you know, Charlie's neutralized. There's no reason for you to stay there. And you can always stop people coming from the left side, like this guy. I knew they would try to like push from the left side. As you can see, there's still a tank there on the left. So people can spawn on him in the squad if he's going out to repair. So they will try to push the left side. So now I see a Jeep spotted here. And it is a C4 Jeep. This is something I learned the hard way on Battlefield 3 Firestorm. I would get C4'd quite often from this side, because this is kind of like the side where you can drive around and not get spotted by you if you're sitting on Bravo. But you have these walls here, so you can use these walls to just kind of like block a couple of RPGs if they would be on the field between Delta and Echo. And the quad bike cannot really enter he cannot really flank you, right? He has to come behind you from Alpha or from behind Bravo. He cannot really flank you because of the little wall, the mini wall. Don't destroy this wall if you don't have to. Keep it up. It's gonna save you your tank a couple of times. So now we have Charlie, and I'm gonna try to put pressure on some people who are coming from Echo to Charlie, because this is the only flag they have now. But I really don't want to go and get Echo, because it's gonna put the server into a weird kind of like spawn rape thing, and spawn raping in Battlefield 4 with 4 tank shells, and just there's no video there to be made. So I'm just gonna play it a bit more conservative, even though that's not what I would usually do here. So I'm gonna put the pressure on the tanks on Charlie. I see 2 of them, so I'm gonna pop APS. It was unfortunately a bad APS for me. I am playing, I think, on a North American servers, so my ping is a bit higher. I think it's like around 110 or 120. So I have to activate APS in a lifetime before this lifetime, so that it would actually activate, so I don't get hit. And this is just not something I have in my brain, in my muscle memory, so I waste it quite often when I'm playing on any servers, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I jump out of the tank again to unspot myself, because I did notice that I'm spotted all the time. So I'm gonna try to put some pressure on the tanks. I missed the first shot, bad calculation from my part, but I see that he's getting pressured by a bunch of infantry here. You can see there's infantry everywhere around me here, but I can't really push until we kill the tanks. So I'm checking for the quad bike. As you see, I'm opening my full map now because I am concerned about the quad bike guy. I know he's upset. He's one of the infantry I killed a couple of times now, so he's gonna try to do the C4 Mambo Jumbo on me quite a bit here, I reckon. So I'm infantry, as you see, there are enemy infantry. They're lining up. They want to try to fight my inf. And you just want to be a presence here. You don't have to be this big battering ram. This is like a big misconception about Battlefield 4 tanks. Everybody uses them as this big battering ram, pushing into flags, dying after 2 seconds. You're more of a supportive vehicle here. Like, you don't have the same survivability as you would in BF3, or even in Bad Company 2. So you have to find a strong position and anchor there. I'm talking Firestorm here precisely. This isn't true for Zawad or some other maps, but that's besides the point. Quad bike coming from the left, just gonna take him out really fast. And I'm trying to pump in a couple of these infantries. If you see people standing still in this game, like this guy, I guess he was shooting an Eagle or something to my air, you can just land an instant body shot with the tank shell. Don't bother shooting the HNG. Even if you can go for a double tap headshot, there's a chance that they will always move after 1 bullet. In my case here, especially if the ping is higher, they can just, the second bullet might not register or whatever. Just go for a straight body shot with the tank shell, eliminate, you just get an instant kill. You help your air out if somebody's standing still. That's it. Don't bother with the HNG on extreme distances. It's not as reliable as just landing a straight body shot. It's worth it, especially if you're playing in a position where I am here, where I do always have tank shells ready. I think I always have at least 3 or 4 shells in my ammo supply, so you can use them that way. One other thing I wanted to mention about this position with the container here, which I didn't mention earlier, you could use these containers to benefit you in tank fights, yeah? Well, technically he can just, of course, act with thermal optics and like land a shot on top of your tank or kinda at the side. I have thermal camo, so I'm not that visible like there. As you can see, he's quite visible for me, and I'm not that visible for him. His positioning isn't bad, the problem is that he's moving, so I can take him out. If he positioned frontally towards the canister there, I wouldn't have been able to hit him, and he could have repaired for free. I would have probably pushed him, of course, but that's not what he was doing. So here's the quad back again. I'm not sure if there's C4 on it. I guess there was, because he exploded right now. He killed, actually, our AA or whatever it was. So, but as you see, the AA, he's standing in the open field, he's busy looking up, and then he gets C4'd. The second tank is pushing now in again here. The way he's pushing here, I do like it. I think he just realized that I'm here, so I'm gonna take him out too. As you can see, they just cannot approach Bravo, and we're just holding Conquest control over here. Havoc coming up. I missed a shot. It's a bad calculation from my part. But this is what Firestorm is about. It's about control, yeah? If you position correctly, as I mentioned earlier, they really can't do much unless like they collectively have to push together. And I will show you later here that you can have instances of individual selective aggression. Now, that's what I would term it. You can quote me that later in Battlefield 2042. I'm sure it's going to be a thing there. You can aggress, as you will see later in the clip, selectively. When you see that it's a perfect time to go in, and just go in by yourself, just one tank, as a medic, mind you, not a medic. I'm not the engineer, I'm not as confident being a medic. You can go in and do pressure, and then get out really fast. It's kind of just like a hit and run, yeah? So, that's the strategy. As I'm taking out everybody around the oil refinery, I'm not sure why do they keep jumping from the oil refinery. They could just stand on Charlie and just keep, like, what I should have done in this situation is stand on Charlie and put pressure on me with the straws from the top of the refinery, where it's not so easy for me to kill them. I'm gonna push in now. This is one of those selective aggressions, because you can see there's a bunch of my infantry that are pushing up. That we're ready to take Charlie. I'm just gonna push up, clean up the bottom refinery as much as I can for them, as I missed a couple of HNG shots on this person. So I'm trying to like put my infantry under here. I'm gonna see if there is anything else I can like splash here. As you see, I can't really do much from this position. What I can do is put pressure on the people on the left here. This is one of those good positions. I don't really see where they're getting shot from, especially with thermal camo. So now I'm gonna go here on the middle, because my infantry is now controlling this little oil refinery area. And I'm gonna try to put pressure on the people on the left. They spawn on the left side also. I'm gonna push in a bit more. I'm a bit more confident, like I said, but then I'm starting to take pressure. There's a bunch of tanks here, so I'm gonna fall back into my APS. This time it was a great APS. I blocked the tank shield and maybe like 2 rockets. You can see everything's flying around me and it's whistling. I'm gonna go out here, so I have to rely on this random person who, well, he's not a bad player. He's competent. He repairs when I tell him. It's still you always have to be a bit more skeptic in Battlefield 4, yeah. Even though if they seem that they're good, you know, they might just not be in the moment, and you will die, especially if you're not engineer like I am. So fall back before you're completely dead. If you're like 70-60% health, just fall back and wait for repairs from this person. I would never fall back like that if I was an engineer myself. I would just bail right there and repair on Charlie instead of going back to Bravo. But it is what it is. So I'm back to my spot here because I do have Charlie. Charlie's like one of those flags that's kind of hard to lock down on Firestorm, and Battlefield 4 at least, because they just have endless tanks. 4 tanks coming up, there's infantry everywhere. So me and Ice Boss, that's my gunner, we're just gonna keep putting pressure on them, taking them out. The tank, as you see, I'm completely ignoring the tank because for me in this situation it's more worth using the shells to kill the infantry, which is way more threat to me than the tank there. He's not even really pushing on Bravo at this stage, so I'm just gonna not deal with him right now. I will try to kill the people who are in Bravo right now. Tricky angle to land some shots there, but now that I do see there's a couple enemy lows on the rooftops. I guess they got there with the Venom or the Bale from the jet. So I'm gonna wait for a couple of repairs here, and I'm gonna see what's my plan of action here. I'm gonna look up if there's anything. Quad bikes, no, but I do notice now myself that I do have Alpha, so I'm gonna go back to Alpha. Fortunately for me, there's somebody spawns here at the container, and as you see, they're putting pressure on my second tank here from the Alpha building. So I'm trying to destroy the walls just to expose them, so It doesn't have to be me who kills them, it can be anybody who kills them really, as long as they put pressure so the thrower misses a couple of shots. So now I'm gonna drive into Alpha myself. They also spawn behind this little construction line. This Baustellen is the way we call it. And unfortunately for this guy, just as I come here, he started climbing the crane and I just kill him. A very unfortunate timing for him. And this is gonna be the part of the video where I take a lot of pressure from the enemy team. They had enough of my shit. I have about like 70 or 80 kills at this point. I'm a strain for the enemy team. So I'm gonna put pressure onto Alpha now, doing the same thing I did earlier in the video. I'm just circling around like a fly on shit, trying to pick up anybody who peeks around here. So I'm gonna do a mistake soon here, where I kinda overstood my welcome on Alpha, and I'm gonna get punished for it. I realize that I don't see anybody here, and if you don't see anybody inside the flags, but the flag is still kinda occupied, it probably means they're either behind you or they're on the rooftops. And I'm not gonna realize this fast enough. So I get occupied by people on Bravo, and I take a mobility hit here. So I'm only 45 health. I'm a medic, as I said. I cannot go out to quick wrap me, so I'm gonna have to fall back. Fortunately for me, my gunner kills the javelin. If the javelin hits me, I'm dead for sure. So there's a quad bike coming up. I do have a shell to kill one of them. My gunner kills the second guy, and now I'm low. Now I'm under pressure. He has to repair, and I'm just pre-firing angles. This isn't panic as you would think. I'm pre-firing angles that, if he does pick, that I would just have a shot in him or two, especially with my high ping. He might die a bit earlier. So he reps me, and we end up surviving. If the enemy team had a bit more coordinated pressure, I think I died there for sure. So you can punish tanks in this game with two people if you know what you're doing. As they're doing again, I'm not sure where the hell they're coming from. So I took two MBT loss now. I take the RPG now. I'm 20 health. I remember the game. I'm stressing. I'm 1 health. If you look at my screen now, I'm 1 health. My gunner, God bless his soul, he goes out to repair, and I'm crying internally that I'm not the engineer. But we managed to survive. There's also a sniper here that just came to help me out. I will say this: if you are a tank gunner, if you play it casually, just in public with some random tankers, if you do see that he knows what he's doing and he's like racking up a kill streak and you're winning the game because of him, if you see the tank is like 20, maybe 30% health, you can go out as a gunner and stand in front of the throw. Take the throw for him if the APS is down, if he's 20 health, otherwise he will just die. I mean, you cannot out-repair a thrower MBT low pressure when your tank is already below like healthy threshold, which I would consider around 30% health or less. Take it out, take the throw, and take it on the chin, like a man. Just take the throw. I did this myself for some other tankers when I was a new player. So I'm gonna go back to Bravo now, and I'm gonna try to splash the building here. I'm not sure where the person is. I have no clue where he went. I guess he went prone, and that's why I missed my splash shell, which is unfortunate. So coming here to Charlie, just gonna do some HNG work. As I see now, there's a big platoon here, a division pushing into Bravo. I'm just gonna zoom around sideways. I'm gonna try to take most of them out. My infantry this game has been surprisingly well ordinated. They're always around me. I always have support, as how it should be in this game. And it gives you this combined arm feelings. I will save the other tank from getting back shot. He doesn't see some of the people flanking him. And this was like, if this will be my final battle for video, I'm happy it was this one. It's a very classic Firestorm round. I played it basically by the book. This is how most of the competitive tankers would have played it in Battlefield 3. Public, anyway, yeah. In competitive, this map was very similar to what you're seeing here. The difference was just that it was 8 players. And here is the selective aggression clip I was talking about. I'm completely alone, out of position. I can die, but I know that they don't know where I am. And this is like a clip where you can just go in and take them out before they go into Charlie. And you can, if you look at my map right now, my info is pushing in. And we're basically gonna end the map here. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you stick around for Battlefield 2042 gameplay. I have very big plans. And that's it from BF4, guys. Thank you for all the support over the years. I'll see you in the beta. Goodbye.